Okay, so here is 8 through 12. So 8 says make a complement of that angle right there. So let's see. Let's remember what it means to be a complement. So if you're a complement, that means you equal 90 degrees. That means two angles that when you sum them up, they equal 90 degrees. So how would you make a complement of this angle right here? There's lots of ways. Here's what I would suggest. I'm not going to do this to scale, but I would extend MN. Just extend it out in that direction, obviously a bit longer. And then think about point M. If I make a perpendicular to M, in other words, if I use the construction that says how to make a perpendicular through a point on a line, then this angle, right, we'll call it A, this angle right here would be the complement because the other side obviously makes a straight line, so it's also 90. So there you go. That's how there's other methods. That's how I would do it. All right. So the remainder of the ones are basically constructing an angle of a specific measurement. So let's see. I'll run through these real quick. How do you make a 45-degree angle? Well, kind of like the previous one, and there's lots of ways of doing this. So number 9, to make a 45-degree angle, I would make a perpendicular. You can make a perpendicular bisector or just a perpendicular. And then I would cut this one in half. So if you cut that one in half, then theta would be 45 degrees. So this would be 45 degrees. Now, remember, that would be two constructions. Construction number 1, so this is question number 9. Construction number 1, make a perpendicular. Construction number 2, and I don't mean literally number 2, but the second construction on this is make an angle bisector that would make 45 degrees. All right, how about number 10? What do we got to make? 10 is 135. Let's see. If we think about 135, that would be 90 plus 45. So what I need to do is take the answer, look at the answer from number 9 here, and look, on one side we have a 90-degree angle, on the other side we have a 45-degree angle. So if you really wanted to be cheap, you could do this. You could say, let me do this in blue. Here's how I would do it. Might make the math teacher a little upset that you didn't actually do it again. But that angle right there is 135 degrees. Why? Because it's 90 plus, remember the other side would be 45. So there's your 135. So that's how I would do it. And if you really want to make the math teacher mad, look at question number 11. Question number 11 says make 22.5 degrees. Well, that would be an angle bisector of 45 degrees. So then that would be 22.5 degrees. Gosh, I'm giving away all the secrets here. Can we get to 105? 105 is the only one that's really challenging to get to. So 105 would be what? So number 12 is the only one, and I gave this one a lot of thought, and every year kids always ask about 12, and I haven't really come up with a good answer for this one in the sense of is there an easier way of doing it? So the best way I can think of it for number 12 is 12 would be 60 degrees. Let's see, 60 degrees plus 45. That would be 105. And we've already talked about how to make 45. That's in question number 9. But I need to make 60 degrees. And maybe there's a different way of doing it. This is the way I can think about it. Draw a line, segment, sorry. Measure it. Don't change or measure it with your compass. And then don't change the distance. So from the two endpoints of this line of any distance, right? Just make sure you measure that distance. So we'll call this distance A. So if that's distance A and you just measured it with the compass, put your compass on the left endpoint, and I'm going to freehand this, draw an arc. So if I draw an arc, right, of distance A, you would make that arc. Then do the same thing from the right endpoint, and you would make this arc right here, not to scale. I'm freehanding it. So this point right here, right? This distance would be A, and this distance would be, I should have done that in a different color. And that's a horrible drawing, but you get the idea. Okay, so I have now made an equilateral triangle. And an equilateral triangle has an angle measurement, all the angles, in fact, of an equilateral triangle are 60 degrees. So that angle right there is 60 degrees. So now I have, in number 12, I have a 60-degree angle. I could copy the 45-degree angle, so I would copy that angle over here. So I'm going to use construction number, is it 2, where you make a congruent angle. So I'll copy that angle, and that would be your 60. And then I would copy that angle there on number 9, 45 degrees, and attach it to it. And that would give us, there's your 45 degrees. And then that would give us 100 together. That would give us 105 degrees. Maybe there's a different way of doing it, but that's the way that strikes me as the way to do it. The book actually does it. It just says various methods. And so that would be my various method. So hopefully that helped. If not, ask the question again and I'll give you some more help.